Hello everybody, I'm just putting together another video. This one is really a shout out to people who may um, see my videos on YouTube, or sometimes I share them across to Facebook and a few other things. And maybe some of you, I don't certainly have a huge user base or, tens of thousands of views on videos and things. So but those that may have watched a few of my videos will know that I've been gradually, as budgets prevail, picking up a few pieces of audio equipment. And I've got my mixer over there, I've got the microphone here, I've got another microphone over here, the Yamaha mixer, which I won't lift up here. And I've been gradually sort of putting together a sort of a not a poor man's audio kit, but a little bit of an audio kit on a budget type thing. For a couple of reasons. One reason was that I wanted to learn more about audio. I've been involved in theatre, community theatre, for close to over 30 years now, and even though I've been an on-stage person in plays and musicals, I've always had an interest in how audio is produced, and so I thought, as part of the deal of getting this stuff, it would make me then take the time to actually learn about audio. And I'm never going to be an audiophile and become almost anal retentive over audio issues. I hope that I can just get some audio which is of a pleasing, which pleases to the ear, rather than something where you need machines to actually give you figures on how things are going. And I think sometimes people get to the stage where the human ear can't possibly distinguish, and it gets to the stage where they're using computers and other things to actually show you how good their audio is. And I think the human ear is still by far the best judge of how good audio is. But anyway, I'm sort of digressing. One of the reasons that also that I got this stuff together, and I've sort of been, putting up a few videos on YouTube as sort of test runs, and that is that I've had an interest in starting my own podcast. Now, I'm still, thinking about things, the best way of doing certain things, but I thought I could at least sort of shout it out into the community here and throw it out and see what people think. But as you know, I'm currently a co-host of Tech Webcast, and I really enjoy that, and they're a great bunch of people. That's, a technology podcast where you have a panel of co-hosts, and you have guests, and of course we talk about, as the name implies, technology, and that's fun. It's great fun. It's great for me to be involved in it on a Saturday around lunchtime. But I've also had a yearning to do a podcast myself, not a panel-based podcast, but more a one-on-one podcast where I interview someone, about what drives them, what in life has made them who they are, the influences in life that turn them in one direction as opposed to another direction. So, and it's not about, trying to get a celebrity if I possibly could anyway. It's about just talking to what I consider, normal people, because we've all got stories to tell. We've all had things in our lives that have influenced us and turned us in one direction instead of another, and so that's generally what I'd like to do. I'd like to run sort of like maybe 45 minutes at the most, just question and answers, where I set a few questions and I allow the guest who to be able to tell their story. No one really wants to listen to me as such. It's more the guests. And so that's the idea. That's the general idea I've got in the back of my mind. The working title I've called, the name is Converse, as in conversation. And I think the definition in the dictionary is something about conversation with a person or persons. And I think that fits the style of podcast that I'd like to do. It is still I'm still churning over things. How would I record it? Would I use Skype? Would I use Hangouts on air? Would I use Hangouts video chats, etc., etc., etc.? And the other issue to weigh up is, lots of people get enthused and start podcasts and blogs and everything else, but after a few episodes, for various reasons, they get tired and they stop doing it. There's a lot, the internet is full of sort of the graveyard of podcasts and blogs and websites and everything else where people have, jumped on at the beginning and said, yay, I'm really keen to do this. And then for whatever reasons, they get tired of it, or they can't get guests, or their life situations change and they don't do it. So I really don't want that to happen. I don't want to get excited about it, start it, and then in 3 weeks' time think, it's not working, or I've lost interest or whatever. So really I'm throwing this video out there to the limited numbers of people that follow me to say, if I did do a podcast like this, do you think, hey, you'd listen to it? I know you have to know what guests and that are going to be on it, but do you think that would be something that would grab your attention to listen to? And the other thing is, I'm really sort of saying, if you would like to be on the podcast, and just shoot me a line, send me an email, or message me on Facebook, or tweet me on Twitter @Learnscape, it will be interesting to know how many people out there that listen and might say, hey, I've got a story to tell, or I'd like to be on the podcast. So I'm sort of really just a bit like the fisherman throwing a lure out. I'm really just throwing something out there to see what might happen. And I've still got a little bit of thinking to do and planning to do before I get going. But if it happens, it would be nice to know that there's a few people out there who might like to be a guest. And it would be nice to know that there might be a few people out there that might want to listen to at least episode 1, because I understand, you can't say, yes, I'd listen to it when you don't really know what the quality is going to be. But as far as as my thinking goes, it's going to be, as far as production-wise goes, it's going to be a simple podcast. There's not going to be masses of, audio and music and stuff like that, effects and everything. It's going to be really listening to the guest talk about their life, about their influences, about what makes them tick as a human being. And hopefully that's that, if I can ask the right questions, get the right sort of answers, sort of gently prompt people into sort of telling me their story, hopefully people will find it interesting. So that's really it. It's just me shooting the breeze, sort of seeing what the interest is out there for this style of podcast. I know there are lots of podcasts out there, tens of thousands or more, all competing for the same area. So, if you're interested in it, if you think that you'd like to listen to it, say, hey, yeah, let me know. If you think you might like to be a guest, then again, let me know and give me some contact details, and I will be able to get in contact with you. And maybe you might be on the first episode, or even a beta episode, because I'd like to actually run a couple of episodes sort of in beta before I actually launch it, if it happens. So that's it. It's sort of like maybe I'll do a podcast in the next couple of months. So stay tuned.